Good morning, everybody. It is so good to be back here, I can't even tell you, and it's very exciting to see a packed house. We're here to talk about design today, and I have to tell you, coming off of a few days at the North American International Auto Show, this is a show of design. Kirk, I think you'll agree. Does it get any better than this, huh? There you go. I'm personally very excited about our speakers today. We're going to cover a lot of Italy. We're going to do a little bit of Detroit. And we're going to just spend the morning here talking about all the exciting things that are going on in the car business. Before we get to that, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about a special person to Autoweek, and that's Imre Molnar. Imre has been a part of this function for as long as I can remember. The Dean of the College of Creative Studies passed away in December. He's been greatly missed ever since. There's people that go out of their way to help with an aspect of the car business that isn't always the most glamorous from an economical standpoint. And Imre was our biggest supporter, our biggest fan, and we were lucky to spend a lot of time with him. He'd always be sitting here front row, more excited than anybody to talk about cars, to talk about design, to talk about Detroit. We were really lucky to have some time with him last year when we were filming an Autoweek TV show, and we got to spend a day with him shooting here at CCS. And we took that and we put together a little video, and we'd just like to dedicate this morning to Imre and honor him with a short film.
From the very get-go of this institution, it's all been very connected to commerce, the commerce of art, the commerce of the plumber, the commerce of succeeding as a professional artist in the business. That's the culture and the heritage of the institution, and we maintain that. So you come here, you're in the bottom class, we can give you your career path. But where we're going is the best school, the powerful school in the world. And that's because of the art in Detroit. They have no greater concentration of car design, car R&D, the technical side, than there is anywhere else in the world. There's not a day to go by the one a number of us are engaged somehow with the car industry here in Detroit. And as I say, internationally, the North American Auto Show, the Detroit Auto Show, is the premier auto show in the world. I've been a passionate car guy myself from, since I was a little boy, and, that's something I share essentially all of the car design tribe in the world. You need to be really a car person to be a like car and have a passion. I started out, I wanted to improve in Australia, I went to design school in Australia, and found myself in Detroit, where the world-based the car design, and my R&D thing, and, we thought, I had an interest in this place. I pinch myself sometimes, because it's such an extraordinary thing when you find myself here. And when this extraordinary design school, it's a dream. Design is very connected to pleasure. We're in the pleasure business, we're in the beauty business. Interaction with a product, it doesn't matter whether it's a motor car or a consumer appliance or even advertising, interaction with that is the interaction is controlled by or perceived through design. And that's what we do. We have the queens. Detroit's a can-do town, and there's a lot of, it's very pragmatic. All of those qualities are embedded in the culture of the student body. Our students are very can-do, and they apply themselves, lots of problems go forward, and so on. And it's something that's pragmatic. We encourage that in our students, and people come from all over the world to be embedded in that culture that we have at the school.
One more round of applause for Imre Molnar, please. As much as we miss him, I know how excited he'd be that we're all here celebrating design. And I have to tell you, you can't do things like the Autoweek Design Forum without great partners and without people that are as enthusiastic as he was about design. And we're lucky to have many partners that share this passion for design, one of those being Johnson Controls. And again, without their support, for the past 18 years, the Autoweek Design Forum doesn't happen. So, celebrating his 24th year at Johnson Controls, please welcome Tom Gold, the Director of Design for North America, JCI.
Thank you, KC. I just want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank actually the designers in the room for making this auto show just a great event this year. There's a lot of wonderful things on the floor. I'm sure everyone's going to really, who have not seen them already, enjoy that experience. I want to take this opportunity to thank my JCI colleagues who come in here. We've been sponsoring this for a number of years, and this year I think it's one of the first years we have all of our studios around the globe represented, from our Holland and Plymouth, Michigan studios, our Shanghai studios, we have 2 of them, and Changchun, Pune, India, Yokohama, Ansan, Burscheid, Germany, and hopefully I'm not forgetting any of them, but it's just been a great year to get everyone here for this event, and one that we all look forward to every year. I want to just thank also CCS for always putting it on, being a great host for this event. So thank you, and I think this format is just wonderful moving down here. And I also want to express condolences to the Molnar family as well as the CCS family, which is part of who Imre is. So it's a difficult time. But lastly, I also want to thank our speakers for being here, and just really looking forward to some wonderful event and just always fascinating content. And thank you also to Autoweek, who never failed to deliver on a great event.
Everyone's going to see when you get over to the show today that not only is the car industry back in a big way, but the Detroit Motor Show has more buzz around it than we've seen in a long time. The atmosphere around the show feels fantastic, and a lot of that has to do with one single car. The new Corvette sits over there constantly surrounded by adoring fans. Our first speaker had a very heavy hand in the design of the new Corvette. Kirk is currently the exterior design manager for Corvette and Camaro. He's been designing cars at General Motors since 1984 and has done every Corvette since 2005. I think that's got to be every little boy's dream. He's a road racer, a model car collector, a driving instructor. We know him today as the father of the C7. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first speaker, Kirk Bennion.
Good morning, everybody. I got to tell you, it's a huge privilege for me to be here representing Team Corvette today. And we take a lot of pride in this car, as you can see. And on behalf of Team Corvette, we really want to tell you that we're honored, thrilled, and delighted to be chosen Best in Show by Autoweek. And that's a huge privilege for us. So with that said, we'll get the presentation started. As you know, I'm the exterior design manager. What we did, starting out, was we felt that it was important that every designer at GM be given the opportunity to design the new Corvette. And we opened this up for both interior and exterior across all 10 studios that GM Motors has. On the exterior, I would tell you we had 5 goals that we felt we really needed to work hard and make the car different at. And I'll just talk to the one for now, but we really felt the upper. We've had the same upper since 1978, and it's really a product of how the top comes apart. Having a movable top and a lift-up hatch and everything. We said to ourselves, we got to improve that somehow, and we've got to be able to change that graphic and make that distinctly different so that our customer from a block away can tell that difference. And that when we, after 2 weeks, believe it or not, we received over 300 sketches globally from all our designers. And we were able to review these with our management in our virtual reality room, which is, if I can describe it to you, it's 3 20-foot panels, about 10 feet high. And we were able to do that on their time schedule through local time, and have weekly reviews with Ed Welberg on all these sketches. Yes. Now here's our kickoff. You can see this, it's a large room and it's filled with more than 300 plus sketches, because as we got rolling, sketches kept rolling. And, these are the initial scale models that we started with. When we kick off scales, we usually look at a design and we'll give it a shot. We'll give it 2 weeks in scale. If it doesn't mature or show promise after that, then we'll just recycle that scale and move on to the next one. So I can't give you the exact number of how many scales we did. I'm not sure our program management team like that, but anyways, we do what we have to when we have to. Also in scale development, we felt it was real important to look at many different form vocabularies, but many different solutions. So what we did is we gathered up 5 different themes that represented a lot of diversity in what we were seeing in the sketches. And we gave them each an 8-hour test in our wind tunnel. And here again, the reason for this is that this Corvette exterior was going to have more responsibility to the performance of the car than any other Corvette exteriors had before. Also, within those 5 goals that I outlined before, we also wanted to improve the proportion of the car. As you can see from the image, we lowered the roof 12 mils, but kept the interior space the same. Here, this effort is reducing the frontal area. This is key for a performance car. Obviously, we don't want the frontal area to be any bigger than it has to. Another key one is we raised the hood 30 mils. This gives our partners in the powertrain the ability to increase the size of the intake, thus pumping out more horsepower, as much horsepower as they felt they needed. We lengthened the wheelbase an inch, and this helps our vehicle balance. We maintain that 50-50 weight relationship, and it really gets to that front mid-engine layout that our chassis guys like to refer to. Also on the front end architecture, what we did, taking lessons learned from our Corvette race team, is we changed the configuration of the CRFM. Here again, one of our 5 goals was doing something bolder with the front, and adding more functionality was key. You can see in the blue there that is what Corvettes before kind of evolved to, where the radiator was tipped rearward. Here again, from our Corvette racing team, we now learned that tipping it forward, putting a functional extractor that stuck it out to the front hood, actually reduces lift, reduces the drag, and also helps enhance our cooling. Also, change to the architecture was going after the rear hatch. What we wanted to do was enable our quarter inlets 1, because those, I'll get to those after, but also reduce the amount of glass and weight that the rear hatch has. Now, our design enabler here is, as you can see, if you look at the side graphic, because we wanted a more unique DLO windshield wrapping graphic. We reintroduced the quarter glass, which Corvette hasn't had since the C1 days. We do a lot of, from scales, we would kick off full size. And to be honest, we had a few full size going at one time. Here again, quickly interpreting our scale themes onto the full size. We like to do a lot of work outside. That's where our viewing patio is about the size of a football field. And it really, I would tell you, is one of our best design tools, because it enables us to get back, look at the car, and really see what differences are doing the most in the car. And I don't want to forget that we do a lot inside either. But Corvettes are sculpted. They are handcrafted. There's nothing railed or surfaced or mechanically driven on it. All these surfaces are done by hand. And here again, we want that craftsman-like feel to the car as well. Then here again outside, I thought this was a unique shot. If you're ever interested in how do we view the car outside, well, we got this bus with a full glass side. We've had this, I think, since the mid-60s, and we'll have the car out in the snow, in the rain, whatever, but like I said, our biggest tool is taking this car outside and learning from it. Here's an early full size. And what we did is, after developing different themes in full size, And constantly doing these evaluations, we got down to 2 themes. And this is basically our competition. What we said was, the idea was to pick one or the other, but design doesn't always work like that. When we reviewed it with upper management, they were of the opinion, you know what, on the one model we like the body side, the sculpture in the front. The other model we like the upper, and we like the new layout for the back end. So we ended up combining both of these cars. Other companies, we took 2 good cars and we made an even better car. Here again, outdoors, working the car over. We're out here with Mike Center and that, but here again, leveraging our outside patio lot. And as you can see here, we're outside with Ed Wahlberg. As you can believe, I think that's the most passionate VP Corvette has had since Bill Mitchell, and that it's not uncommon to have it just drop in during lunch or whatever to see what we're doing on the car. With that said, possibly was really the guy that captured the form vocabulary for the car. And what was neat about his ideas was they really resonated. And you get a lot of different, you looked at a lot of themes and you think, well, it shouldn't be too hard over that package. But of course, it's a lot harder than they look. But we really wanted something that was going to resonate outside the Corvette community. We're looking to get our more global and to take on more conquest sales. Here again, another image showing, we kind of, it's a very aspirational target. We leverage Corvette racing a lot for functionality, but from a pure aspirational standpoint, looking at the F-22, we were mimicking its very curvaceous surfaces accented by its very, very tight edges, and that's what we want to capture in this car as well. We do a lot in digital math. Obviously, we start out by hand, trying to capture all those sculptural transitions, and then of course we have to interpret that into math. And then I would tell you, we use this tool to really digitally perfect the car. Here you can see on this chart, I don't forget every number, but just to see, if you look where we are under C7, our min-max deviation on the surface is now 0.009 millimeters. So it just shows you the progression as we've done Corvettes, how we've been able to tighten up those tolerances as we go along the way. Obviously, Corvette aerodynamics are key, they're our trademark, and that, like I said before, we've introduced more function into this car than ever before. In that, here again, the radiator flow is going through the front, coming out through the top. In this CFD image, you can see these little ribbons. And the key about these ribbons when we're doing airflow studies is you can click on one of those and activate those ribbons, and you'll get the complete aero path from start to finish of where that air came from, where it went, and how it exited the car. The other thing we can do is, obviously, you can see by the temperature pressure mapping, is it also gives an indication of the temperature differential as well as the pressure. And here in the back, you can see that these quarter inlets that we introduced, they're very, very functional. They're key to cooling the transmission and the rear diffuser. I would tell you they're like the last part that we really, really struggle with on the exterior, not from a design aspect, but just from a sheer airflow standpoint. We ended up, our goal was to get 8 cubic meters per minute of airflow through those openings. And I would tell you, there were many times I went home where our chief engineer would tell me, we don't have a car unless we can get enough air to those heat exchangers for that transmission. So it was very, very critical, very vital to the car. Also, what we've done with this car is not only have we spent a lot of time on reducing the CD, but reducing the lift. And as we learned from our race team, that L over D ratio is really key to a performance car. You can see by this chart, our base car for C7 is better than the Z06, and our Z51, which is the car you're seeing at the show, is even better than our Z01. I can tell you, there was a time where the Z01, that was the best we knew how to do for a good street car when it came to lift reduction. Iconic graphics, really, really important. And that, I would tell you there was a time inside this program where we said, you know what, we're not going to call it C7. It has to earn being called C7. And that we had our own program number, and it was really our goal to earn that so that when people saw the car, when it was done, they would acknowledge it as a next generation car. We weren't going to assume that. That was our goal. On a side note, these graphics were designed by Dennis Pinos, who's a product of College for Creative Studies, and has been doing terrific graphics for Corvette for us since 2005. The Stingray, here again, that was our second hurdle. If we believe that the car is a C7, and if we believe it's special enough in keeping what we've done, acknowledging, using Stingray to acknowledge really, really good Corvettes, advancements in technology, engineering, and if the design is compelling enough, we would put the Stingray badge on it. And we really didn't make this decision until the car was done, until the exterior was done and we were ready for the release. Also, what we wanted to do with the exterior, we really wanted to raise the premium level of this car. And so what we've done is we've introduced more premium finishes. I've come to like, as you probably see, carbon flash black metallic. It's a great accent for us on the car. We've also introduced black chrome on the headlamp. LED technology. Our LED technology is an indirect, reflective kind of light. Here again, we wanted to leapfrog what we were seeing out there and not just go with the exposed LEDs, but actually have them hidden indirectly. And then a bright chrome accent. Here again on the front, we're looking to add a little more jewelry to the car. Here again, lifting that luxury sport appearance. On the back end, it's really the same application. Like I said, with the chrome on the front, we offset that by having the chrome tips on the back. And our exhaust now passes through a black chrome heat shield in the lower rotation. This is a big win for us because it really helps clean up the perceived quality along the bottom of the car. And here again, the LED technology, being indirect, reflective, really evens out the light flow and really gives us a signature appearance. And here again, in keeping with this bandwidth idea, we really wanted to extend Corvette's premium luxury appearance. We kind of felt that's where we were falling short before, and thus the industrial premium materials, but we really felt that we needed to have a car that embraced that would be at home and next to any European product on a European road. And this had a great combination. So with this interior, we felt was really one of our more compelling luxury sport piece. Now, if you swing the needle the other way, and we can go to a more motorsport theme. Next one. And here's the car that we showed at the reveal as well. Both of these were at that direction. But with the exposed carbon fiber roof, satin black wheels, red stripe, black accented spoiler, the mirrors, and then hood stripe. Here again, the idea is if we built kind of through C6, we built up this motorsport reputation, and we wanted to keep that rolling. On the interior accent is, if you really like that exterior, then we've got the interior match for you as well. I would say our interior team did a phenomenal job introducing functionality at a very high level and premium materials. All the materials are real, carbon fiber is real, aluminum is real. The ergonomics are fabulous as well. In proportioning this car, here again, as I said before, we're usually trying to shrink the car. Now we did do some things on the front end where we added just a little bit of length, and that was for some of our surface trauma and plane views. But as you can see here, we're only 1/10 of an inch longer than the Porsche 911. So, our latest interpretation of what the modern performance car should be, as you can see here, there's a little bit of merging of the ways. You can see where overall length is very similar, but with a longer wheelbase, roof is lower. And of course, we like a wider stance, which makes us better viewing. Here again, those 5 bills that we talked about, new upper graphic, as you can see here, new sculpture, more expressive side cove. These were elements that we really felt would be compelling to the car's exterior. Also, here again, the wide stance. We've added an inch overall to front and rear track. And here too, you can see where we raised that hood to 30 mils, and we've got that functional extractor there. It makes for a really good stance on the car. And of course, the rear, our goals with the back end of the car, we were being critical of ourselves, and we were looking at the last few generations. You could argue that the lamp placement was the same, the license plate was in the same area, the exhaust is kind of at the bottom, and there was a very familiar formula to how we did that layout. And we felt that even though enthusiasts could tell the difference between the last few generations, we felt like that the general public really couldn't. So we were really after, okay, how can we change the back end of this car? We still kept the tail ends to dual element, but here again introducing this LED indirect reflective combination. But we really felt that these shapes were new, compelling, different, or a signature to the new car. The other thing we did is we raised the diffuser line. We made the diffuser much taller, integrated the plate, integrated the exhaust into that as well. And in fact, the exhaust kits are now even bigger. They're 4¼ inch in diameter. And I would say even a little detail like that, just to get those on the car, they have a special kind of bell curve to them. Well, that was because we had to design them so that they could have weight reduced in their configuration. You know, our chief engineer is steadfast in that nothing gets on the car if it weighs a little bit more than what was there before. And so we're constantly on our weight reduction. Now, with that said, you know, here again, rear 3/4 image, we felt very compelling for this tail end signature, and you know, as if to say, we believe our customers want to know when they pass on me that hey, that was a brand new Corvette that just went by. Now, if you're curious as to what a first ride might be like in this car, we got this video for you. And by the way, you might notice I'm the one driving. Now, I often tell people that, you know, Corvette isn't just one car, it isn't one timeline. There's many things that happen around this Corvette icon entity. And one of our goals within the car is always for it to have what we call a multi-generational appeal. And where it isn't just one age bracket, it's many that we're pursuing. For instance, we want to be your first car. You know, we don't want you to wait till you're in your 40s or whatever. We want you buying our cars as soon as you know what they are. Next, please. We also want to be your first drive. And with our new Gran Turismo program. Not only your first drive, but many more. And we'll let you take a look at that.